Okay, good morning. Thank you for being here. I apologize for my voice. Hopefully you can make out everything. Bruce McArthur currently stands charged before the courts for 8 counts of first-degree murder. Remains of 7 of the 8 victims were previously located at the rear of 53 Mallory Crescent behind me. Over the last several months, investigators from Project PRISM, along with members of Police Dog Services, Forensic Identification Services, and members of Ontario Forensic Pathology Services, have conducted almost 100 searches at various properties throughout the GTA. These properties were all previously linked to Bruce McArthur. Minor excavations were conducted at several of these properties, but no further evidence of human remains were found. Mallory Crescent was left as the last premise to search. Several weeks ago, K9 units conducted a search of the ravine at the rear of the premise. Several locations of interest were identified. It has taken some time to set up the logistics of conducting excavations at these locations. The City of Toronto is responsible for the landscaping on the ravine, and some time was needed to take environmental issues into consideration. Some trees were cleared to allow access for equipment. Yesterday, the Toronto Police Service, with assistance from Ontario Forensic Pathology Services, Durham Regional Police, and the Ontario Provincial Police, commenced excavation of the ravine. We are prioritizing areas which give us the strongest indications by K9 units. Yesterday afternoon, human remains were located at one of the first digging sites. These remains have been brought to Ontario Forensic Pathology Services for further examination. The excavation continues, and we anticipate being here for, at least until next week. And we are going to allow the cameras to go down through the side lot of the ravine to get some footage of what's going on down there.
Would you anticipate identifying
That's up to the pathologists. It really does depend on the method of identification, whether we rely on fingerprints, dental records, or DNA. Each method can take a different amount of time, so you could be looking at days, weeks, or months.
how badly decomposed are those human remains?
That I won't get into.
Does it appear to be the remains?
Sorry. Sorry, say that again. Quite a few. That's not to say that all of them are going to yield positive results. We had the dogs indicate quite a few of the different premises, but we believe that's a result of contamination from other areas, such as taking equipment here from Mallory, digging at another site that would contaminate that site, and we believe that's why we got so many false positives.
Using fingerprints and dental records, how many remains did you find, and do you think you found the remains of a complete person yesterday?
We don't know that yet.
Is it early or too late to say, too early to say, whether the remains you found are a different person, or could they possibly be partial remains of the people that have already been identified?
We don't know that yet.
And can you confirm, is it indeed partial remains, or did you find
All I can say is that there are some human remains that we've recovered.
Is it possible
Okay.
it's more than one person?
It's possible it's more than one. It's possible it's part of the remains of some of the victims who are already recovered. We just don't know yet.
Can you tell us a bit about where it was actually recovered from? Was this a deep hole? What sort of work went into hiding these remains?
I'm not going to get specific about that, but like I said, I am going to take you guys down and you can get an appreciation of the dig site itself.
And
How big
finding
is
these remains in the ravine, that's different than the planters. So it's the first time we're finding remains in a location other than the planters.
Correct.
What does that tell you? Does this change the scope of your investigation?
Well, again, we have to rely on identifying those remains first and see where that takes us, whether they're remains of somebody else who hasn't been identified yet. We've got a lot of work to do.
But
How big is the area that you're looking at back there?
Again, you'll see that when we go down there.
But it appears to be a different MO. Is it possible these remains are not related to the MacArthur investigation? I mean, all the other remains were in the planter, right?
Again, we're going to have some work to do identifying those remains, linking them to the MacArthur investigation, but I think geographically where the remains were found, we're not going to have much of an issue doing that.
Is there any idea how long they've been? Like years possibly or something?
I don't know yet.
You said linking them to the McArthur investigation. So at this point, like, do you feel confident that this is a victim of Bruce McArthur, or could it be something else entirely given the distance from the house?
Again, we haven't identified what the remains are, who the remains belong to, but hopefully that will give us some answers.
Moving forward, do you see this as being the full circle? This is where you stop, release the investigations?
Well, we're still working on the cold cases that I've talked about before. That work is not complete yet, but hopefully this will be the end of the searching and excavation here at Mallory.
So the property in Madoc didn't turn up any leads. You said you searched 100 in the GTA. Does that include Madoc?
We did Madoc initially back in January. We haven't gone back there.
Do you intend on going back?
No.
Given where the remains were found yesterday, could they have been like tossed over the edge of the hill, or were these buried remains?
Again, we're going to take you guys back there, and maybe you can get an appreciation for exactly what the location speaks to.
But we won't
We know
see
that we
what
don't-
you guys saw yesterday. Like,
You'll see the general area where we're working.
We know that Bruce McArthur only started working at this property a number of years after some of these men were believed to have been killed. So what does that tell you about, where these bodies may have been hidden, or what may have been done with them beforehand?
We don't know yet.
Given that you're saying you're going to be using DNA and fingerprints, does that indicate that some of these remains are not badly decomposed?
Again, I'm not going to get into specifics about the level of decomposition. Sorry.
Were you surprised that you found human remains just hours into what could be a weeks or months long investigation?
A little bit. I mean, we had the canine units down there, and like I said, we've gotten a lot of false positives from the canine units. So we were cautiously optimistic about finding anything else. And when we found the remains yesterday, very quickly, we anticipated being here for weeks. Quite frankly, digging. We found them. We found them that quickly. It was a bit of a surprise. Yes.
are the dogs being used to identify possible new areas of interest, or is there work done for now?
The dogs are still being used. The dogs are here on site, which I should warn you guys about. But we'll keep them in the cars while you guys are down there. But they are brought out sporadically to search different areas as we go through it.
Can you give us an idea of how many number of places of interest, and how many, a handful, more than a dozen? Like, give us a general indication of how many.
That's a work in progress. So I
What was that?
can't.
How many numbers?
I said that's a work in progress, so I can't.
Detective, has Bruce McArthur been cooperative at all in this investigation?
Again, I'm not going to speak to Mr. McArthur's level of cooperation whatsoever.
Can you give an update on the cold cases? Have you made any progress? Have there been any leads that have suggested that one of these cases could be connected to Bruce McArthur?
We have no evidence to link Mr. McArthur to any of the historic cold cases right now.
Okay, folks, let's go on down.